So welcome, everyone.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Bucket fills or something good? What you got, Courtney?
I would like to thank Heather for helping me yesterday with a listing that went expired unexpectedly on the market or coming soon, and it was just a mess, and just really grateful for your help.
Yes, it was a little bit of a fiasco, but we made it through, and I think it's all good now.
Yes.
But yes. And we also had the help of MLS.
Yes.
Which, you guys, I don't know if you ever email them or reach out to MLS. They are so helpful.
Mm-hmm.
They really are helpful. They're quick. And I know sometimes we mess up when we get those fines. They're usually pretty good at waiving them as long as you don't do it too many times. But they are really good and easy to work with and very helpful. So always keep that in mind. Yep. But yes, I was happy to help Courtney. That was an interesting one. Oh, yeah.
Other happenings, good things.
I have one,
Yeah.
a fun one. My youngest granddaughter is coming in at 11 o'clock to close on her first house.
That is fun.
That is awesome.
I'm excited.
That is really fun.
Well, and I will bucket fill the region because they put on some pretty cool trainings and have really neat speakers come in. So if anybody around joined the Be Wealthy class with Brett Tanner last week, it was really cool. And I've seen him on some webinars and stuff before, and just his information and his willingness to share is really, really great. So if you missed it but had some questions or want to dive deeper into that, we can get you connected with the Wealth Committee, our community through Keller Williams, but just so much good information. And so when those opportunities come up, you don't know who you're going to talk to in the room that might expand your world, or hear something, a nugget from the speaker that's like, oh, I can really utilize this information in my business. But they really do a good job of bringing in some pretty awesome people. So I would like to, they're not on here, but thank the region for doing that and pouring into us as people in their world. Hudson?
Oh yeah, I actually just wanted to bucket fill you. Just because you got everything set up for me so quickly. I would have done it last week, but I thought I'd have a bunch more stuff to do, but it was so seamless. Also the SLM.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know exactly who he is. He was super helpful as well. So thank you so much for making it super simple, straightforward, and actually pretty fun. So thank you very much.
And that's the thing, if you don't have all of your stuff set up, you can go back and go back to Scott Leroy, right? And get all of your.
You can do something called the tech refresh. I know I'm looking at a couple of you in here who have done that recently. But they will go in, Keller Williams has really expanded their technology to include Canva, and there's Gemini, and there's TidyCal. I mean, there's so many different things that Keller Williams is connected with. And so if you don't have those connected for you already, you can do a tech refresh and they will go in and do that. Also, if you haven't done anything with your KW website in a while, doing a tech refresh can really help with all of that rebranding, or maybe you've never opened your KW website before. But there's a lot of really cool things that you can have put on there through Scholarly Marketing. You can also have them do a newsletter for you, update your blog posts that are on your website. So there's a lot of different things you can do through that tech refresh. Always happy to help if you have questions on that.
Yep. All right, we'll go through some announcements. Ooh, what is this? This is.
So at some point in the next 15-ish minutes, Alison Simon is going to join us. So as you guys know, when you go to Family Reunion or Mega Camp, they have a lot of agents that are doing really cool things in their business, and they have them create a one-pager. And this one-pager is in the third volume of the MREA Playbook. And she is going to join us live today to go over what is her play. And so for those of you in the room, you have that play on your desk, so you can kind of read through it and maybe ask her some questions. And then online, I think we're putting it in the chat, so you can open that up at home as well. So at some point when she comes on, we're gonna switch over to her.
Yes.
And then we'll come back to our regular meeting, and going over our numbers and kind of what happened here in March.
Or we can discuss this in more detail too, if we have questions about it.
True. Yep.
Okay, so this is Brahma's.
Yeah, do you want to tell us about this invite?
If I can say one quick thing first, so this is on May 7th. And remember, the grab and grow is on May 7th. So if you've signed up for the grab and grow, you'll be here for the open house of your clients coming to pick up their plants and stuff that's from 4 to 6. This is from 5 to 7 and it's 10 minutes away. So you could actually finish up with your clients at 6, head over to this, and you'd have more than enough time to get there and do them both.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's a great opportunity to socialize with realtors here in the office. We'll have all kinds of fun treats and snacks and wine and beer and really fancy stuff, which will be great. And then there will also be a number of other people from other brokerages and some of our sphere of influence and influential clients and stuff that'll be milling around. But this house is incredible. I mean, it's just amazing. It's a Wooddale built home, just like 10 years old, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Decorated really nice. So it's something that would be kind of fun to see also. It's just a beautiful house to walk through. So
Did I hear you correctly that clients are potentially coming to this too? So if you had a client that maybe would work for this, you could bring them along as well?
yeah, the unique thing is that this is it's the challenge with it, it's about $300,000 or $400,000 less than it should be because it's on Central. But it's street and privacy fence, so you can literally walk half a mile anywhere in downtown Wayzata because you are right there. You can walk across the street to, Byerly's and everything else, but you can walk right to the restaurant super easily. And that's very, very rare in Wayzata. I mean, you can't really get much closer to downtown than this unless you're in a condo. So, yeah.
Nice.
All right, we'll see you next.
Excited to
Thursday.
see that. Yeah. Well,
Yeah, so next Friday, we are gonna be with Jessica. So do you want to tell us a little bit about this place where we're gonna go and hang out together?
Yeah,
all the
so this is an invitation for the ladies in the office. Men, obviously, if you want to stop by too, you're more than welcome to. But we're gonna do a bubbles and bouquet event at my listing on Lake Minnetonka. So hopefully sunshine and we can spend some time. We're gonna have mimosas and build your own flower bouquets for you to take home with you.
And this is for all of our, agents in the market center. And if you have an agent from the outside that you would like to bring along, it should be a really fun event. Some snacks, it'll be a really good time. So, and making some bouquets. I can't wait to see how mine turns out.
And I want to just put this out here too. This in May, we're doing something really centered around ladies. In June, we'll have an event specifically for the gentlemen. So more on that to come.
So yeah, sign up for that. There's a QR code and Lydia will also send that out afterwards.
And then May 12th, you guys, we have CE. This is probably going to be the last free CE that we'll offer in this office for this cycle, which ends, on June 30th. So start checking out your CE to see what you need. We will send it out again today in that recap. So do check that of all the different places where you can get CE. Some of it's free, some of it's not, but this one is, so sign up for it. It's right after our team meeting on the 12th. Cinch is providing lunch for us. So come to the team meeting, have lunch, do the CE, get it all knocked out.
Nice. And you've got to get that done by June 15th.
Yeah. And then this is Red Day. Yay! We do have Red Day t-shirts if you guys want to buy those. They are
$25 each.
Okay.
And there's a little sign up form. We'll have some in here and some out on that gray table out there. So you can feel free to get one of these. We have all sizes and we'll have a sign up sheet there. So just write your name on it if you take it and I'll put it on your invoice.
And then please do sign up for this because if we have a good head count, it really helps them figure out what projects we can do for them. So ideally, end of next week, we would have everybody signed up, that's kind of wanting to go. So that I can say, okay, we have X number of people for the morning and X number of people for the afternoon. And then they can start to plan the things that we can do. Last year, we prepped some garden beds. A couple of us cleaned out a storage locker, which was interesting. Otherwise we kind of worked in their store. So they have clothing and home goods that they are always looking for people to come in and help with those donations. They also have shoppers. So depending on kind of how many people we have sign up, we'll help them decide what we're going to do that day. So please do sign up in advance. If you already know you're going, of course you can still come on the day of.
And we have the morning and the afternoon shift.
Yes.
So, and then we'll all be getting together for lunch.
Yep.
So
They overlap on lunch. So your shift includes your.
yes, and we'll all get to be together for that. Nice.
Oh, I put this in here again because we are still getting some calls from people about the Apple update. So this is if you have an iPhone and your primary email is your KW email on your phone. So if that is the case, this happened. I don't actually know. Apple wants your email. I'm not sure. So if you have that, you do want to change your primary email on your phone to a different email, not your KW one, because it's associated with a business. So this is in the recap. If you know friends in the office that have iPhones, please share it with them because it is important for them to know it keeps popping up in people's email. They think it's spam. There was something in the update actually. So
really all they have to do is just make their primary email, probably their Gmail or whatever they
yeah.
use, whatever they use. Okay.
use, but not their KW Gmail account.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, and is Allison on or not? So maybe we'll go for the, you know, how we were supposed to do numbers meeting last week and we ran out of time with all the great stuff that we had going on. So let's just get through the first few slides and I'm thinking she's going to be on in just a minute or two. So we'll just take a couple of the first slides and go back at some of the stuff. Oh,
So Johanny is not here today, but she sent me this message, so I will read it. She would like to nominate Jelena for the Culture Award. She says, honestly, without her, I wouldn't even be in this career. She's the one who showed me what was possible and helped me take that first step into real estate. And since then, she's been my rock through just about every transaction I've had. I probably call or text her way more than I should. Honestly, I should start paying part of her phone bill at this point. Always shows up. Not just because it's her role, but because she genuinely cares. She leads with patience, guidance, and a lot of heart. And what stands out most is that she does all of this while running her own business and supporting her team. She balances it all and still makes time to pour into others like me. She's incredible at what she does. But even more than that, she's an amazing mentor in person. I will forever be grateful for her. So. Yeah. So, and we appreciate you so much and speak bounds for what she said too in the of our agents of the office. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank
No
you.
bangs in the picture.
Yeah, that's the whole picture.
I'll do that anytime.
Like 4 years now.
Okay.
We should update the picture.
And welcome to KW. So some new faces you guys might see. If you see them in the hall, please say hi, introduce yourselves. We have Grace, Isaac, Julius, Matt, and Christine at the office here. So, and I think Allison is on. Hi, Allison. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Candy. I know we've been chatting over email. We're so excited to have you here. Everybody has your play at the table. Nobody sits up front, so you probably just think it's just me talking to you here, but there are people in the room. We'll shout it sometime. And then the people online do also have this in the chat, so they can kind of follow along as you talk about it as well. So thank you so much for being here. I'll kind of let you take it now.
Welcome.
Oh, good. I see there's people there. Hello. Would you like to have me walk through the process that I do, or do you want to ask me questions? What would be best?
If you would walk through it, and then afterwards, if we have time, we can ask some questions. Does that sound good?
That sounds great. I guess I need to pull up my one pager. So bear with me 1 second as I do that. All right. All right. At least I had it handy. Okay. And I apologize. In Philly, the trees have bloomed and I am extra allergic right now, so I'm going to be coughing and gross hacking my way through. I apologize. So first things first, we get a buyer lead. Our leads are mostly referral based. I would say last year we were 87% repeat and referral, which is a pretty crazy high number. And if we get a lead from past client or sphere of influence, or someone that's in our orbit, we're going to send them a gift card. You know, $20 for the first one, 50 for the second, and like a nice dinner, $100 somewhere that's in the city. If it's an agent referral, then I'm going to update them every single step of the way. We just had someone go under contract yesterday that's an agent referral, and we sent them, hey, just want to let you know, Jenna and Sean are under contract. Like, thank you so much for trusting us. Previously it had been, hey, they signed paperwork, wanted to let you know, things like that. So, and I know I'm not the only agent that's sent a referral and then gone, could I have an update? So that's the main reason that we do that, because no one likes pure silence, right? Next, then we'll set up a conversation. Some people will skip the conversation, but as soon as I get the lead, I say, like, would you like to have a conversation just to make sure, that we jive, or would you like to hop right to the consult? Some people will skip the conversation completely because they know that they're going with me. Other people will want to have the conversation, but whatever they want, every single time I have a conversation, it 100% leads to a consult. So in that initial conversation, I'm going to do a lot of listening about what they want. I'm going to do a lot of like asking questions. Oh, hey, you're saying this, great. I want an expectation set like a little bit, especially if they're in the suburbs. Our suburbs are still a serious seller's market. You're not going to find a lot of homes for sale. And so I always expectation set in that first initial conversation, just to like make sure they understand what they're getting into. After that, we're going to set up a time to hop on a consult. Again, if it's not me, if it's Mary that took that call, Mary's my director of operations, then she is going to set the consult. And then when we hop on, they'll have gotten already a buyer intake form. They'll have gotten a calendar invite with a Zoom link, which tells them where to go, right? That email, when it goes to them, it's doing a couple things, right? It's saying to them, hey, it's not just me you're working with. It's also my team of admins. And I think that's really important to just sort of, you're not directly overtly saying it, but it's sort of communicated by the fact that the admin is sending all of the things. So as soon as that happens, they're going to fill out that intake form. And if they don't fill out the intake, I'm not meeting with them. Like, that's a hard line in the sand for me. Or I should say in the concrete, because it's not sand. I won't meet with them if they don't fill out the intake. Because if they can't take 5 to 7 minutes to sit there and fill it out, they're not serious. So at that point, I'm going to sit and I'm going to meet with them. I'm going to look at their intake form. I have learned that clients will fill out things, buyers will fill out things on a form that they won't necessarily tell you if you're asking them, like financial information. So the like, how much do you have saved question? When I used to ask it face to face, sometimes people get like a little cagey about it. Like, that's not your business. I don't know you. But if a form asks them, they're like far more likely to fill it out. So that's why it's on our form. So once we hop on Zoom, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to I will have quickly reviewed their form, and I'm going to look at location with them. I'm going to share my screen immediately and talk about locations. So I cover Philadelphia and the suburbs, and Philadelphia is a really neighborhood by neighborhood, block by block, even within a neighborhood area. So sometimes I might say like, okay, you're super familiar with this section of South Philly. Can you tell me, what blocks would you not like to live on? Because there are going to be like hard lines for people. Like, I don't want to go south of Snyder, and other people will be like, I don't want to go north of Snyder. So, it's something like that. And I'm going to say like, great, let me take notes. And so I'm like, detail about where they want to be, like lots of detail. And the whole time I have a different window open that's not being shared where I'm taking notes and they can hear my click clacking. And honestly, I think that's a really good thing because it's showing that I'm being extra diligent, if that makes sense. At that point, I'm going to say, great, I'm going to switch my screen share and I'm going to walk you through my buyer guide. And I have a buyer guide that's mostly tailored to first-time buyers, but really is helpful when people relocate from other states, that talks about the whole process, like start to finish. Once you go under contract, I have a decision tree that's really helpful, like a flow chart. And people have told me over and over again, especially not first-time buyers, how much they wish their first agent had done this because it's so helpful to have an overview up front. Guaranteed they'll forget it by the time they go under contract, but just the idea that I spent a bunch of time walking them through what to expect is really helpful. And like, here's where you go under contract. Here's where we place title insurance. Here's where you do your lender application. All of that little stuff adds up and makes me really look like an expert, even though I'm just reading my flow chart. At that point, I'm going to, go through it in detail. I'm going to show things like everything that can go wrong in a transaction. An agent in one of my, I'm in Gary's mastermind, and an agent in the room shared that she does like a 88 types of turbulence, she calls it, where it's like everything that can go wrong in a transaction. And I was like, oh my God, this is 100% for me. So I now put that in my buyer guide. It's everything I've ever dealt with that's gone wrong in a transaction. And I always highlight something where I'm like, hey, the thing I'm dealing with right now, which is actually truly happening, is a seller just up and died in the middle of a transaction. And I'm on the buyer side. And guess what? It's not the first time it's happened to me. So like, I knew exactly how to handle it. And it like makes people laugh, but then go, oh, so I'm all about adding the levity. Like, hey, this is a stressful situation. And like, also, things will go wrong. Like, there's no guarantee that there's a smooth transaction. In fact, I would guarantee it's not going to be smooth and something's going to go wrong. So by setting that expectation up front, they know to expect that. And it's like when you have a first time buyer and they're like, la, 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 I'm going to buy a house and everything's going to be perfect. I think it's really important to burst that bubble up front because it's not real life. And then in that guide is also like 50 things buyer agents do. I think for me, it's really helpful to just share that we do a lot. And opening doors is actually not high on the list, but negotiation and comps and like being a fiduciary, that's very high on the list. So that's all in the buyer guide situation. And then we'll create a portal together, right? So as soon as we, oh, and I forgot also, we walk through consumer notice and buyer agency, which is like, I'm going to spend an hour and a half probably with them. I always book it for an hour, but I tell them we might go over. Going through all of this, we're going to go through all of their questions. I'm just going to pour a lot of time in up front. People usually really appreciate that. Once we create the portal, I'm then going to leave them with, hey, you're going to get a bunch of emails. If you're not pre-approved, I'm not going to send this portal to you because I want to make sure we're setting it for the right dollar. If they are pre-approved, then I'm going to send it immediately. If they're not pre-approved, I'm going to introduce them to a lender and tell them that once they're under contract, if they want to shop, I have 3 other or 4 other people. And if they want, I could send them all those names now. And other people don't want to be introduced to a lender. They want all the names and they want to choose. But either way, I'm sending them an email about a loan. I'm sending them the buyer guide. I'm sending them a calendar invite for our first tour because I always want to get that on the books before we part ways. And I'm sending them the portal if they're pre-approved. So they're going to get a bunch of emails from me upfront immediately. And then, of course, the documents to sign. As soon as that happens, and a lot of people sign like same day, they're just like, oh, I see the value, click, click, done. But some people will take a couple days. I have a couple right now. They're scheduled to come into town next week, relocating from, I think it's Rhode Island. She signed, he didn't. I guarantee you, he forgot to sign. So before we tour, we're going to remind them, hey, you do have to sign. Otherwise, like legally, I can't show you houses. So my assistant will do that. And then as soon as they signed, my assistant will send a PDF copy of everything they signed with the promise script, the Mike Hicks promise script that just says like, if we don't do a good job, we want to know why we didn't do a good job so that we can learn essentially. And I promise that we're going to be so great. If you don't know the script, you should really learn it. It's fantastic that you're going to send us referrals. Then we're going to tour until we make an offer. And usually it's my showing partner touring them. I like to do the first tour, but sometimes schedules just don't align. I have a 5-year-old. I'm usually wrapped up after school, either with soccer or swim, and just trying to figure things out. So once we make an offer, I'm going to remind them of our flow chart if they need a refresher and that it's in their email. And I'm also, when we write the offer, I have a video explaining the agreement of sale. And like I say very clearly in the email where it's linked, I am not an attorney, but this is my understanding of the agreement of sale. So I'm going to send that over to them. It's pre-recorded. I've sent it to sellers if they want me to explain it, because I think a lot of people will spend 30 minutes plus on the phone with clients explaining everything they're signing. And like, nobody got time for that. No, I'm good. So that was really helpful once I realized that I could do that. Once they're under contract, I'm going to submit it to the transaction manager. Transaction coordinator is going to send out, the roadmap to settlement, send it to the co-op, and also place title for us. In Pennsylvania, title state mandated. So I always tell people up front, like when it comes time to order title insurance, are you okay if I choose title? If not, would you like me to send you a couple of my favorite companies, things like that? And then after inspection, we're going to have a conversation. I actually don't attend inspections. I know that's a controversial topic. I find it to be a total waste of time, and I'm too chatty, and I want to be friends with all of my clients. So I think I'm a distraction when it comes to inspection, which is literally what I tell them. I might pop in at the end to learn what are the major things, but overall I don't attend. And if the listing agent wants someone to be present, then I'll send a showing partner who will literally just sit there and work the whole time so that there's an agent in the house. But I think it's really the time for buyers to get to know their new home. So after inspection, I will look at the report, and I've seen, hundreds and hundreds of these. My team will put it in a spreadsheet, and then I will go through it and color code and leave comments. Again, it says at the very top, I'm not an inspector. I am not a contractor. I'm not an engineer, but this is from my past experience, right? That's why they hired me, for my experience. So I write things that I do or things that I would do. This has a retaining wall that's leaning, many clients would like this repaired. Let's code that orange as we're going to ask for that. Things like that. And then we'll send it to them, and then they'll go ahead and take a look and leave their comments, such that when I get on the phone with them, all we're talking about is where we are not aligned. So our inspection review call just went from 30 to 45 minutes down to less than 10. So it's all about saving time while still providing really efficient and effective service. At this point, we then do a repair check before the final walkthrough. I learned in the heart of COVID, late 20, early 21, sellers were saying things were done and they were not done. So I want to try to not have an unhappy final walkthrough. So we take the extra, moment to go and do a repair check, so that if something's not done, we can say to the seller or the seller agent, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Listing Agent, this is not done. Here's the picture. Here's what it should be. Can you have it repaired? And then we can check one more time before final walkthrough. And that's been a really helpful step to avoid stress on the day of final walkthrough and closing. At settlement, I'm going to bring a gift, which, let's be honest, it's really an advertisement. It's glasses with my branding and some either alcoholic or non-alcoholic sparkling something, be it cider for the non-alcoholic people or Prosecco for the people who drink. And then about a month after settlement, I will pop by with some art. I think art's the best gift, from me at least, where it's Philly related and and they can put it on their walls. And then people really like to show me around and show me what they've done. And then I'm not just like transactional, I'm relational. So that's my whole process from start to finish. And then, it's really become like a self-moving machine where I'm not doing the kind of lead gen that I should be doing because I'm so busy. People are just referring me business. And I think that's because they see that I'm like really not a transactional person when it comes to real estate. I'm very relational and relationship based. How was that for a very long explanation?
That was really great. Thank you so much. Other people may have questions here too, but I did have a question for you too, Allison, just on the checklist. You talk a lot about like this checklist or these are our next steps or this, spurs this to happen. Where do you keep those checklists? Do you use a certain platform for that, or is it, you could just elaborate on where those are held and how you use them? Is it a spreadsheet that you like follow along with your team?
Yeah.
Or have something where it's like everyone gets it and they check their box and the box that goes to the next person. How does that happen?
So I don't actually do checklists. So I'm sorry if I said the word checklist. I don't think I did though. I do spreadsheets for our inspection review. That's very helpful. And it's shared with everyone as editing, privileges. My admins take care of anything that's administrative. And my transaction manager is the one whose roadmap says, start to finish. So she's in charge of that. So my transaction manager has an automated system where she will send me an email that says like, buyer reply to inspection is due in 3 days, right? So that's really helpful because it's a reminder for me. Other people I know use like things like Folio if they're not at the level that I am where they want it to be on their calendars so that they know it's coming. Yeah, sorry, I don't have a clearer answer because I don't do any of the administrative stuff.
I maybe didn't answer the question, but like when you're sitting down with your team, if you have, so many transactions happening, how do you guys as a team keep track of like where people are in that process?
There we go. Okay, so we use Discord as an inter-team chat. We pivoted beginning of this year. We were using just Google Chat because it was in our KW emails and very helpful. And then my admins all have their own like simonsellsphilly@gmail.com, simonsellsphillyteam@gmail.com, simonsellsphillymarketing. And so we were using Google Chat. And I have to say it was like really disorganized. And I am really bad at giving context because I assume that everyone's in my brain. Not a good way to be, by the way, because they're not in my brain. So if I need to give context, that I would say like schedule this tour for Mike at blah blah blah, and they'd be like, which Mike, what day, So we switched to Discord, which is free, and we have channels, and each channel is either a buyer name if they're still touring. Once they go under contract, it flips to the property address. And so in there, we pin the roadmap. So it's up top and pin any important things. And then the admins are able to track it the whole way through. So that, when appraisal is ordered, if I'm on the listing side, which I am 50% listings and 50% literally, I think last year was 49-51. Do I need to go do my appraisal homework before I go meet the appraiser, right? Or before I send him comps? So that goes on my to-do list. And for my to-dos, I like Asana because Asana emails me and reminds me if I haven't done something. So I need that because I don't remember anything. I'm, a mom of a 5-year-old, so I don't remember anything. Did that answer your question a little bit better?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you had said the majority of your business comes from referrals. Is that what do you do, like events, or how do you keep in contact with your database and your clients?
Yeah, so we do events. We do 3 events through the year. We used to do 4, but that 4th was like maybe 2 people would show up, and then that's sad. So we flipped to 3. One of them is a Phillies game that gets a ton of attendance. One of them is Linvilla Orchards, which is outside of Philly, where we do that right around Halloween. So everybody gets a pumpkin to leave with. We go on a hayride. It's very cute. We serve food. Those two events alone are like highly attended. Sometimes we sell out what Phillies tickets we have and have to request more. Um, and for the Phillies game, we let people bring as many guests as they want. The reason that we do this, those people are giving me referrals. I don't care if I have to spend an extra $200 for them to feel appreciated and be able to bring their friends. One year I had a past client say, this is a big ask. Could I bring 8 guests? And it's like, oh, that is a big ask. But out of those 8 guests, one of them directly transacted with me. One of them referred me other people. And then the people who came who asked to bring 8 sent me a like $1.7 million buyer about a week later. So like, yes, I will pay for as many Phillies tickets as she would like because it will be far less commission than a 1.8, or 1.7 transaction. So for me, that's a big one. Those client events, they get to see me face to face. They get to see me in a different light. They get to bring my whole family. And yeah, that's really great. And then the other thing I do is DTD2, do the database twice. So everybody is tagged by a letter of their last name. And I go through the database and I text and call people. The original said you had to call. I think the second version says you have to make contact. I'm a big believer in meeting people where they are. So if my past client loves to Instagram message, guess where I'm going to reach out? Instagram. So that's my biggest source probably of just staying in contact. And I'm not asking for referrals. I'm being purely a relationship-based person. And I'm saying things like, hey, I just drove past your house and I thought of you. Did you ever refinish the floors? Send me pictures if you did. I hope you're well. It's not asking for something. It's reminding them, I'm a realtor.
Got it.
Well, Allison, thank you so much for joining us today and walking us through your play. And I took a bunch of notes, so I will share them with our team here too. And come visit us if you're in Minnesota.
I will. All right. Y'all take care.
Thank you.
Guys think? Did you like her? Have you guys gone through the MREA playbooks? Kami, we all 3 have them in our office. If you guys ever want to come in and take a look at one, they have open calls. We've gone through several of them here at our team meeting, so they really are a great resource for ideas.
And
So
they're sectioned off based on kind of what the lead gen is. So if you're like, oh, this is what I really want to focus on, you can come and just look at that section. So
Yeah.
there also, a lot of them are on your connect. When you go into command, the connect tab has a lot of the plays in there too. So you can always search there too if you just want to do it from your home computer.
And we've also found out, at the top of the page says whose play this comes from. Everyone we've ever spoke to about the plays have been very helpful and really willing to share any information. So you could always reach out to them anytime. All right, should we finish up the numbers? Seems kind of weird, funny, so late in the month. Lots of cappers last month. Yep, Stefan, Jose, and Billy Pauling. So congratulations to all the cappers. Fantastic, 100%. Several of them have months at 100%. So congratulations to all of them. Nice job. Danielle had her first congratulations. And now here's our numbers. So these are March numbers. So I know this is a little while ago now, but we'll go ahead and do our March numbers. I know Kami's really into the clapping, so you guys can go ahead and do that. But we'll start with our individuals. And here's our listings tape. Jerry at just over 1.1, Jason at just over 1, he Collins at 540. Congratulations to all of them on listings taken, which is always great to get your listings over, your listings in. Top individuals for closed volume. We've got Matt Snowball, 5 Spanish shop. The block, don't mind me. Woo, thanks, folks. Hi. Now to make that. Now we're moving on to our top individual teams. So we got Brahma with 5. So congratulations. Top individual teams, most volume, Brahma. Rose GCI, same worker, congratulations to all of them. So listings taken with our teams. MREA, one. The big numbers are for kind of an account. Congratulations. And our closed volume, 1.4. Angie Toomey's team, Angie and Kirk at 847, and the Barber home team at 600,000. Oh, GCI, Sarimpa team, Sherry and and now for our top groups. So we've got Bethany Nelson and the Homers group tied for 8. Colleen, Scott and Jessica, and Dwellings all at 2. Nice job. Congratulations. 45 reserved. We've got our listings taken volume. Homers at 6.5. Calling team 1.9. Jason Milton at 1.9. Scott and Jessica at 1.1. Dwellings real estate. Nice job. Wendy and Pete. Just over a million. Congratulations. That's a nice listing volume and listings coming in. Nice job to all of you. And our closed volume, Homers group at just over 10 million. Scott 2.3. Nice job, you guys. GCI Homers group, Bethany Nelson team, Zurich, Scott and Jessica, and the Mo real estate team. Really great. Really, really nice to see you. Oh, and our commercial. We can't forget about our commercial. We have listings taken. KW commercial, Royce took in 2 with a volume of 2.5 million. So the commercial team and Royce KW commercial and closed GCI, Stedman and Royce. So nice job. So now we're looking at year-over-year comparisons for the market center. So these are our market center numbers. So quite a big jump. And from 2026 to 2025, had 84 units compared to 65 last year. Closed volume of over 42 million, just about 43 million from 29 million the year before. So nice job, you guys. That's amazing. I don't know. Particularly if it was just you guys were working a little harder, or if what you were doing, but if anybody has any thoughts, let me know. But I think nice job and congratulations to all of you.
Buying season started earlier this year.
Got it.
I think that's an indication of, is that, what do you think? Like, what are your predictions?
For us, it was snowbirds coming back.
Do you think it's just early and it's gonna stop? Or you think it's gonna keep going?
I hope
Well, do you think I think it was a hesitation in the fourth quarter. I mean, the fourth quarter, obviously, everybody was like, where's the business? So I think just pent up fourth quarter, like, okay, we got a little ray of hope in first quarter and we've seen a surge. I don't know that.
Is Eric still in here?
I still also feel that it's like 4 years of pent up, demand and on the market, because of COVID. And then an election year, there's just been so much and interest rates, there's just been so much uncertainty that has slowed everybody down. And I think this is a track back to a balanced market. It might take 2 years, but I think everybody should be prepared. I think it's gonna run.
And don't you think everyone is a lot more used to the interest rates now? I mean, yeah, it doesn't seem to be much of a topic so much that this is just where they've been at for so long now, and that's just where they're at. Do you notice that? Yeah.
Well, I was gonna ask Eric the mortgage applications are usually a good indication for what's to come for us. Are you guys seeing an uptick or is it kind of steady? Not to put you on the spot, sorry.
No, that's fine. April, actually, we're up over year, so hopefully that'll be a good sign for coming into the early summer months on there. So it's up pretty dramatically on that end. So I think March was kind of a funky time on that end, but April's kind of making up slack for that. So I think we're gonna see some good things going forward.
Nice.
I would say on the interest conversation, first time home buyers obviously don't seem to mention that, but of course people who are in existing home trying to sell and move on and buy something, update something bigger or whatever, obviously I keep hearing that, oh, we're at 3% right now and I'm gonna go to 6 or 6.5 or still thing on that part, I guess.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
And I personally have a 3% mortgage and I kept it as a rental and bought a different house.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's something you refer to your clients or how. Does anyone have, what do you say to them? Do you guys have an idea of what you say to them when one of your clients comes in and says that? And they want to move up or they want to move down. They want the change, but.
Yeah, I just talk about what's your motivation right now. I mean, and maybe that overweighs it and what you're trying to do or have to do.
Same with you, Rama, looking at the motivation?
Yeah, and you just talk about, what's the, I guess Shane were here, I'm kind of going off of what Shane would typically do is just talk about, what's it look like in the next property? I mean, what's your lifestyle change there? And is it worth it? When you figure out the difference financially, is it worth it to make that change? And they've probably already mentally walked through most of that. You just make it very real and talk about the differences. You also have to talk about, is it worth staying in, because they're leaving for a reason. When you now have your fourth kid and you're in a 1,800 square foot St. Louis Park house, is it worth staying there for that savings that you're getting? And then just find a way out.
Awesome. Listings taken, huge. I mean, 80 compared to 58, 44, almost 45 million compared to 35. Mm-hmm. Huge. Is that, what do you guys think?
I had to double really look at that, is that right?
Yeah, no, I double checked that. That is right. So, I mean, that's great. That's where, you're getting a lot of your leads and business from.
I don't want to challenge you right now, but do we track anything that shows how many of our listings actually sell year over year? It'd be amazing to figure out, okay, so let's just say last year we had 35 million in listings taken volume, and out of that 35 million, we sold 28 million of it, right? That's showing it there.
Yeah, this shows listings taken 58, listings sold 27 for 13 million. So
it's hard to know though, some of those listings are not even, they're still on the market. I mean, yeah, I'm just curious of what are our listings to sold listing percentages, as an office.
Well, raise your hand if you have a listing that you didn't sell.
I canceled. I would say. Oh, they canceled.
Yeah, we will definitely.
I'm like,
I'm saying it's also.
We actually have those numbers, they're just not included in here, but I will definitely do some research and let you guys know on that. And we do have a pretty high percentage there. Our office is one of the higher offices with our percentage of listings taken to listings sold. So, yeah. Nina,
Yeah, so I was trying to figure out what would be the reason for the uptick year over year. You know, in 2020 and 2021, when everything was, I mean, how many people moved during that time and bought a house? And now, you know, we say that people stay in a house for, you know, 5 to 7 years. So there lots of things, life events happen during 5 to 7 years. And now it's like this time when people are probably thinking, okay, I've had another baby, I've got a new job, I've gotten married or whatever it is. And we're at that 6 to 7 year mark and they're probably ready to make a change.
reason to always keep in touch with your clients, right? Awesome. Listing sold, a big change from your 52 to 27, 26 to 13. So, yeah, I mean, big numbers there. Contracts written, 88 to 67, 46 million compared to 31. So, future business, that's some great stuff coming up. Sometimes our contracts written aren't always accurate because a lot of times we complete our commission staffs after the closings. So sometimes they're pretty dead on, but we still have seen a lot of contracts written this month. So, yep. Closed GCI 1.246 compared to 859. So you guys made a lot more money this month or in March. So nice job. Congratulations to all of you. And our profit share huge. $5,800 compared to $749. So all of you got anyone participating in a profit share hopefully got a portion of that. So nice job. So that was a nice increase too.
I was excited to see our closed GCI above $1 million. If you guys recall last year, I think we had one month, maybe two, where we were just under $1 million in GCI for our office, and now we've hit that. So now we got to keep that going. So I'm excited to see it over $1 million for March.
Yep, we usually have you guys usually hit over $1 million at least 9 months out of the year, sometimes 10. So you guys are working hard and making some money. So nice job. And wants and needs. Last week we did the spinning of the wheel. We threw that in there. So you guys got your cash, and we gave away some big cash last week with all those listings. So wants and needs, you guys have any wants and needs? Anything you'd like to say in here? Heather.
I've had a cute little condo down in Bloomington. Everything's been redone. New bathrooms, new kitchen, new everything. It's just a one bed.